Hi, this is Jason Harrelson with Harrelson Trumpets. Today I'm going to talk about SWE technology. SWE stands for Standing Wave Efficiency. And this is a term that I've coined several years ago, really to describe the efficiency of a trumpet. The SWE Trim Kits are a little bit of a mystery to people who have not played them. In a nutshell, they improve the way the horn plays. You can see here that we have a standard bottom cap off of a box strad trumpet and a standard top cap, and I'm comparing these to the SWE Trim Kit, which I have added to a standard Bach trumpet. The finger buttons are also larger. All of the parts were designed to make the instrument more efficient. It simply does this by preventing extraneous vibration through the ends of the valve casing tubing wall. You can see here the finger button is not much bigger on the SWE Trim Kit, but typically it does have a little more mass. Primarily we want the top and bottom caps to prevent loss of energy at the ends of the tubes. The SWE Trim Kits simply screw right on to a standard horn. We make these for Bach, Yamaha, Getzen, probably about 20 different brands and over 100 different models. Here you can see the trim kit installed. This one is in raw brass on a silver Bach trumpet. Now we're going to talk about SWE Tuning Slides. We currently are in the prototype stages of producing SWE Tuning Slides for Bach and Yamaha instruments. Here you can see that we have a semi-round crook on a Bach trumpet. Some crooks are square, some are round, some are semi-round. Each shape will change the feeling of impedance or resistance in the horn, which in turn does different things to us as a player, and overall affects the breadth of sound. Now here you can see an SWE slide. It's much different, and this slide was designed really with a completely different production technique than has ever been used in the past by any of the other factories in existence today. This one was made from 2 pieces of solid brass. They were milled out in the middle and on the outside and then put together. So there's just a very tiny hairline seam down the middle of this slide. And we do that because we can then make the tuning slide wall thicker, and we can brace it with that ribbed bracing in there, which is really something I borrowed from architecture. They do the same thing in bridges and several different structures in vehicles, and in airplanes, and this is a quick, simple way to use less material to achieve a higher efficient design. Now a standard tuning slide, like the Bach slide, is actually losing a lot of energy through that tuning slide because the wall thickness is very thin, and that wall thickness was thin because it's very difficult to bend thick-walled tubing. So you can't really bend it without creating lots of pores, and the metal bunches up in the middle of the turn and it stretches on the outside. So you have a lot of inconsistencies in making crooks and tuning slides, bell crooks, your first, second, and third slide crooks the traditional way. The new way of doing it, which is what I'm doing, is simply milling them out. And this way I can ensure that the wall thickness is exactly the way I want it to be. On our SWE tuning slides, it is twice as thick as you can bend a normal tube. And on the gravity and higher end trumpets, that slide is actually 4 times thicker in wall thickness. And this just increases the efficiency. All right, next we're going to be talking about SWE Mouthpieces. Now, your standing wave begins at the back of your mouth, and it reflects at static air on the outside of the bell, a few inches in front of the bell. So that wave has nodes and antinodes, and to put it very simply, those antinodes put the tubing wall into motion. They set it into motion because the molecules are vibrating. A standard mouthpiece is thin enough that we lose a lot of energy right at the beginning of the standing wave. And once we've lost it, you can't gain it back further down the line on the horn. No matter how efficient your trumpet is, if you're losing energy at the mouthpiece, you're never going to get it back. So SWE mouthpieces are designed simply to do that, to prevent you from losing energy in the standing wave right at the beginning. If you want to do anything to improve your trumpet playing from day one, the first thing I would recommend is modify or purchase a more efficient mouthpiece. The second thing you could do would to be try a SWE trim kits, or at least a set of bottom caps. Physics is involved in all of my designs, and physics works. Thank you for listening.